Bill Murray is everyone's favorite comedian, but fame has a way of going to your head. That seems to be the case with him, too. He's been accused of abusing Geena Davis on set. In her amazing new biography, the actress talked about one of America's most beloved comedians. It was during the time they were making a crime comedy called Quick Change back in 1990. She said that the comedian made fun of her on set after he tried to massage her in a hotel room with a device. In a hotel suite, she had a meeting with the actor, his co-director and producer.
I physically dominated the man.
Physically dominating. You can see the bruises on Wes's chest and back.
During the meeting, Murray suddenly asked her if she'd ever tried a thumper. Do you know what that is? It's fine, Geena didn't either. It's a huge piece of massage equipment with big grips, and he made her sit on the bed to try it out. The actress is known to be super shy and wouldn't get into a confrontation. Plus, he only tried it on her for a second and didn't even check to see if she liked it. So it was pretty obvious that he was just trying to embarrass her. That's horrible. No one tried to stop him either. That wasn't the only time he pulled something with her. He even harassed her during the filming. It was said that something else happened on the second day of filming. They were shooting a huge scene at an intersection in Manhattan with hundreds of extras and a huge crew. The crew asked the actors to come to the set to shoot the scene, but she was told to wait by the costume designer and she complied.
I kind of like those dogs that have one black eye, like in the old Spankies. Those are kind of, I'm a sucker for those. And I did see it.
Bill Murray, dressed as a clown, rushed into her trailer seconds later and started swearing and telling her to get the F out of there. If that wasn't bad enough, he came up behind her and yelled in her ear, shouting at her to move. In a little while, they finally made it to the intersection where hundreds of people were waiting, and he directed her to stand on the mark and told the director to start shooting. The poor actress was so taken aback by his behavior.
But, you know, we do a lot of kidding about Joe, but he's an incredibly generous man. And he's not even aware of it.
That she was shaking because she felt so ashamed. This veteran actress isn't the only one who felt bullied by the comedian. He's had public allegations of misconduct from a bunch of people. There have been many confirmed reports that the comedian has paid more than $100,000 in settlements after a female co-worker made a complaint against him. This has led to a lot of new claims against the actor.
And I walked in and there's a painting there, and I don't even know who painted it, but I think it's called the Song of the Lark.
I've heard that the Ghostbusters actor had kissed and straddled a far younger crew member as the shooting stopped on the Being Mortal set for a while. Since then, other well-known people have said that he regularly does things like verbally abuse them or take things too far. Young female actresses weren't his only targets.
And you say it like that, and it's totally terrifying. And we used to get dressed up on Sophia's movie.
He made Seth Green cry on SNL. The star of Austin Powers recently talked about a fight he had with the actor on the set of SNL when he was just 9 years old. Murray, who was 31 at the time, made a big fuss when he sat on the arm of a couch. That sounds crazy, doesn't it? It sounded crazy to the young actor, too. And when he wouldn't move, the older actor asked him to leave. Before the poor guy could react, Murray turned him upside down over a trash can. The poor guy kept shouting and waving his arms, but he wouldn't let go. The comedian eventually threw him into it, and the lid blew off.
Scramble, your head's so scrambled by that time from sleep. This is boring, but it's anyway.
This is helping people.
Let me get to the thing anyway, yeah, because you could see this really at 5:30 in the morning.
He was so traumatized that he ran into his dressing room, slid under the table, and cried. Seth Green wasn't the only person he terrorized on SNL. He pulled Solange Knowles' hair and was rude to Rob Schneider when the two of them appeared as guests on SNL in 2016.
But Bill Murray, well, Bill Murray did. To be fair to Bill, it was an accident. All the same, though, during a fight scene they were shooting for Mad Dog and Glory,
a lot of people saw him repeatedly badger the singer on whether or not her hair was real or if she was wearing a wig. Then he plunged both his hands into her scalp. That's horrifying. The singer has never talked about the situation, but has tweeted about it twice.
Seriously, I'm not convinced Bill Murray didn't just steal the real hat. He didn't, but wouldn't it be pretty Bill Murray of him if he had?
On the other hand, Rob Schneider also came forward with a little story of his own. Back when he returned as a host to SNL in 1993, the comedian wasn't nice to the cast. He didn't like any of them, and he made it known. Everyone would walk on eggshells because he could get so angry and would humiliate everyone around him. He hated Adam Sandler and despised the late Chris Farley. He's known to be horrible to his co-stars, too.
The type of guy that is Bill Murray, and only Bill Murray. No one else does this. In case anyone thinks this was a one-off, Murray did it again in 2019.
Lucy Liu talked about his behavior on the sets of Charlie's Angels. She said that he'd say and do the most unacceptable things on set. He was super inappropriate and reprehensible, and she hated being on set with him. She recalled a specific incident when the dates of the shooting were changed. Reportedly, he got super angry and even threw racial and sexist slurs at the actress. She was completely shocked, but she stood up for herself. That's amazing. You'd never back down in front of bullies. Even her fellow angel, Drew Barrymore, talked about his bad mood on set. She was proud of her co-star for standing up for herself and calling him out on his misbehavior. They all stood behind her and helped. It seems like the actor is nothing like the happy-go-lucky characters he plays on screen.
Every actor who sticks around for long enough ends up with some pretty strange cameos on their resume, and Bill Murray is anything but an exception to that rule.
He was even pretty mean to Richard Dreyfuss. This happened while they were filming the comedy What About Bob in 1991. The actor told his fans that the comedian was super into confrontation, and once things got pretty physical. In an alleged incident, he threw an ashtray at the actor while shouting at him that no one likes him and people only tolerate him. The actor would have been hit in the face with the 4-pound glass ashtray if Murray had thrown it a little harder. He had missed him, but then aimed a punch at him too. Luckily, he dodged it, got his things together, and just left.
Through all the classic zombie flick tropes. It has a few shining moments here and there, though, and one of those is the scene in which the one and only Bill Murray appears as himself.
The comedian has denied that anything like this has ever happened, but the evidence against him is pretty overwhelming. He has a habit of being pretty nasty. He was super horrible to Angelica Houston. While filming the movie, the comedian took the entire cast of The Life Aquatic with Steve Zissou out to dinner. He deliberately left Houston out of it. The actress never backs down from saying the truth, and in a super exclusive interview, she told us what a monster he was on set. After dinner, he tried to chat her up and told her that he thinks about her very often. She called him out and stated that she was done with his lies and that he was full of crap.
In a way of their mistakes. You know, and it's always been that way in my life too.
Plus, the saddest thing that he ever did to her was being an ass to her at her husband's funeral. That's horrible. Last but not the least, his ex-wife had a lot of things to say about him too. He was super abusive towards her. The comedian is a domestic abuser too, and I think that's just despicable. There have been many reports that he punched his ex-wife, Jennifer Butler Murray, in the face while they were together. She talked about her abusive marriage and said that things were so bad that she believes that she's lucky to be alive. He hit her in the face many, many times and was just a really bad dude overall. In court during their divorce, she gave multiple pieces of evidence. They all pointed towards the fact that the comedian was adulterous, addicted to drugs and alcohol, abusive, sexually dependent, and often left her alone for weeks at a time. She finally got divorced from him in 2008. This is all we have on everyone who was publicly abused by Bill Murray throughout his career. See you in the next one.